someone says, I'm not happy with the job I have. Okay, well, what does having that job do for you? And then you start going down. It's like, oh, well, it just provides us money. Okay, so the only reason you have this job is for money. Yes. Okay, then now we can say, okay, well, are there other ways that you can make money? You're separating what's going on in your life with actually what the objective is. But when we can actually have the objective and what you're doing align with what your desire is, then that's where we can have a win and we can have a shift. We've been complimented a lot about our kids, and we spent a lot of time with our kids, and people say, how do you do it? Like, what are you doing different? And then, and I wasn't trying to be, sarcastic or anything when I said this, but the first time someone asked me, they're like, what are you doing? Like, I could see a difference in your kids compared to other kids. And they're like, what are you doing? And I said, and it just popped in my head right away. And I think you know me well enough, Jovanni, I kind of just say what comes in my mind, which is good or bad sometimes. But I said, we pay attention to them. And then they started laughing, and I didn't think it was a joke. I was like, no, I'm serious. I'm serious. We pay attention to them. And he's like, oh my gosh. I was like, really? That's what we do. We pay attention to them. Because I mean, yeah, you're totally right. And it's not like parents want to be that way and push their kids to the side. I mean, the reality is that, life happens. And then by the time you get home, you're tired from work and all these things. It's not like you intend to wake up and screw with your kids, So,
well, they're probably doing it out of love, right? I mean, they're trying to provide. So they're working hard so they can provide a certain kind of future for their kids. And so it's out of love, but there's always that fast thing, right? That's what we're always talking about, like slowing down and enjoying and creating your life and everything like that. But yeah.
So it comes back to that question of why. So I think the silver lining that we keep coming back to is that people are asking, what do they want? And that is the start. I mean, Simon Sinek said it so well, start with why. It just is exactly true. And, and this goes back to the whole no pain, no gain thing that I always poke at. When there's pain, I find like we're on the wrong path. And so it's an indicator to, get on the right path. It doesn't mean give up on our dreams, but you have to kind of know where you're going to make any map. So if you're just doing, it comes back, if you're doing something and you're not sure why you're doing it, you have to ask yourself, well, what does having this do for me? That's the golden question that you learn in neurolinguistics, right? Like, what will having that do for you? And then when you can get to the root of why you're doing anything, because typically there's a good reason. Like, why do you have the job? So if someone says, I'm not happy with the job I have. Okay, well, what does having that job do for you? And then you start going down. It's like, oh, well, it just provides us money. Okay, so the only reason you have this job is for money. Yes. Okay, then now we can say, okay, well, are there other ways that you can make money?
Yeah.
You're separating what's going on in your life with actually what the objective is. But when we can actually have the objective and what you're doing align with what your desire is, then that's where we can have a win and we can have a shift, So I always say life is by design. So if you don't like it, then start redesigning it. Like right now, I won't even do it, but I have actually, I guess I will. I'll just, it's kind of I've got a whole bunch of papers over here, not normal, but I've got all these weeks, and this is from like 2017. My son made fun of me, but this is like the same thing from 2017 that I've been printing. It's like just a weekly calendar, and I literally draw on here, and I don't print a whole lot of stuff these days, but this I printed out because I wanted to like walk around the house. Sometimes sitting on the couch. I've taken this outside while I'm drinking some cacao, and I've been like designing what I want 2020 to look like on a weekly basis, and like how many weeks do I want to take off, and all these different things. And so that's what I literally mean by design. And I even just yesterday, Sunday, we're recording this on a Monday, but on Sunday, I was just having a conversation with my family. I'm like, hey, this is what Dad's thinking. What do you want? And making sure I include everyone in that. So I guess for me, this is an exciting time. I've done this for many years, but now I see a lot of people around me that have not operated this way. They're asking a lot more questions. So that is exciting to me. But I guess what I would say to everyone is, first ask yourself what you would like, and then ask yourself, now, how can I have that? And don't get caught up in the how. Find what you want. And then if things don't go the way you want, then that's where you just keep adjusting the how. It's iterative. Does that make sense? I mean, if you think people look at me and they're like, wow, Steve, you have the life, man. You're, living in the woods, you have your kids, you've been traveling, like we get all these things, and it's all been by design, and I'm still designing it. I'm still figuring out things that could be better,
Yeah. It's like that whole, like when I first started like my photography and I was learning about business and everything like that. There's like what you track gets measured, right?
Yep.
What you're measuring, you can quantify essentially. It was said way better than that, but essentially, but it's like the same thing with your life, right? If you're not choosing or creating what it is, then like you'll just get whatever it is. 'Cause I remember I used to say like I think we were very similar on this part. We would go like, oh, I just kind of like go with the flow, you know, go wherever the wind takes me. Well, if the wind's taking you to a water, like to a waterfall or over a cliff or something like that, is that really the best thing? It's like best to, yes, go with the flow, but have control of where it actually takes you, right? So if you're on the water and you're sailing, like you have the sail, you have the rudder, you have all that other stuff to make you go where you want to go. Or if you're paddling, right, you have that control. Like, yes, go with it, but also make sure you're going on the path that you want to go on, rather than it just kind of taking you to whatever random path. And maybe the random path works for you, but then maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But like, I'd rather have that control to be on the path that I want to be on.
Hey there, I want to give you something really big. It's called Clear Path to Customers. It's the way that we get the right language to get the right client. I like to call them your wow clients, so that you can have more results, more revenue, more raving fans, and more referrals. And I want to give this to you absolutely free. And all you have to do is go to stevenapolitan.com to check it out, or you can look at the description here. We'll put the details there. As always, remember, choose gratitude and create freedom.